had to do today?
Yeah, I think it's the same for both sides, isn't it? It's just been a war of attrition. Clearly pleased with the result. It's a Challenge Cup. It's not about points difference. It's not about performance. It's about being in the bag for the next draw, and we've certainly done that. Mission accomplished.
Completion rate in the first half of Featherstone Rovers, quite a few forward passes and knock-ons. Not surprising in the conditions, but it seemed to get better in the second half.
We averaged 74% in completion first half, so that's not bad in this. We're all scratching our heads at some of the decisions. Some of the decisions we were questioning if we're right or if we're doing the right thing. So I think there's about half a dozen forward passes, and there's a few that's missed. 2 disallowed tries, too many penalties in the game in these conditions. Made it a stop-start affair and much tougher than we'd have liked.
And how crucial was that Jason Walton try that just edged Featherstone ahead in that second half?
I suppose it's defining on the scoreboard, and when you look at it, you would say that was a change in the game, but we were starting to complete and kick well and turning the screw, and Bradford were losing players at regular periods. Players were coming off injured, so we knew that the momentum was in our hands, and we just needed to stay patient and build pressure, which we probably didn't in that first half. Probably came up with a couple of plays that we didn't need to play, and the kicking game improved second half, and it pinned them down. And we defensively, I thought we were great, and disappointed with the last try. 21-7. I think we're pleased with that, just conceding the 7 points.
And there were a couple of players making season debuts today, weren't there? Sunday and James Duckworth. James Duckworth especially seemed to have a really solid game out there on the wing. Yeah,
it can't be underestimated the amount of changes that we had to make today. We had a new 9, we had a new 6, 2 new wingers, new front rower. So there was a lot of changes made, forced as well through injuries, and hopefully some of those guys will come back next week. But there was a lot of changes made. I thought it showed at times when we had the ball, but defensively I thought as a unit we all worked really well. So Sammy Day did a good job for us, did a really good job. I thought Cooper on his first spell, thought he carried the ball well. Duckworth, you mentioned, he hurt his ankle after probably 10 minutes, but hung in there and battled through, and at the very end showed desire and the will to win, chasing back for a kick behind him. So we were really pleased with Ducky and his attitude more than his performance.
And have the 17 come through injury free? You talked about Duckworth there with his ankle injury. There's no major injuries from the 17 today.
Richard Moore came off with a little bit of a quad pull. We'll assess that. I just felt it tightening up, and we just need to look after him and assess him over this next couple of days.
And Featherstone Rovers going to that draw on Tuesday. Any preferences on who you'd like pulled out of the hat against them?
No preferences. If you could, I know probably most coaches ask for a home game, but I'd rather just have a nice sunny day, and I don't care wherever it is. Just can we have the weather just a little bit better than what we've had for this last month or so, which it just seems like a real tough slog at the minute, getting through these games, and players at half-time having to change shirts and shivering, and jaws shivering when you're sending players back on. It's not conducive to how we want to play. When we get good surfaces and we get a nice dry day, we were able to score points. Obviously we've scored 21 today, which is no mean feat away from home against Bradford, but it just inhibits how we'd like to play. Taking into account we've made a lot of changes today, I think that we should be really pleased, because it's cup tie football and it's about winning.
And it's back to business in the league next Sunday at home against Toulouse, who had perhaps a surprising defeat at home to Batley yesterday in the cup.
Yeah, I gather that Toulouse made a lot of changes. The team that we're familiar with seeing has probably got about half a dozen changes from what they usually play, and I'm sure that team that we come up against next week won't resemble the one that has played against Batley. So I guess they're resting a few and getting ready for us, and that's fine. It's their it's their decision. But for us, we like to win, and we like to keep winning. And today we've been able to give our squad members, blokes who haven't had game time, we've had the opportunity to give these blokes time on the field, and I thought every one of them did really, really well. And that's going to be the tail of the tape. Come the end of the year, we need a strong squad. We need a group of blokes who are all going to work hard together and have a good attitude when they get their opportunity. And I thought all of them today did that.
Over at Moon with that performance, weather conditions were awful on the both sides. But we had 4 hookers playing there out today on that part. So I've got one hooker who started as a back rower, ended up in centre. I've got another hooker who come on in back row. Then you've got obviously Lum who played hooker. Then I've got Scott Moore who comes on, played hooker a bit, ended up at stand-off. So we finished up with 4 hookers there.
Leigh, you basically were down to the bare bones, the bare minimum. Hence why you had to call Butterworth and Hodgson. Yeah,
that's credit to his academy as well. I thought Evan there were outstanding. So not to try as well for him, which we're really pleased for. But even he's a middle and played back row there for a bit. So I'm over at Moon with them.
And obviously he scores that try at the start of the second half to bring the house down.
Yeah.
I mean, it must be over the moon. 18
yeah,
years of age.
He is, yeah. Yeah, we're over at Moon with that. We all were. I thought we had a real good dig today. I thought it was tough, old school rugby, wasn't it? In that mud and conditions. So I think we finished there. We didn't have any fit bodies left for like last 10 minutes. So it was like proper old school there. One sub, you stay off.
When Dake went off early, then Bentley. I mean, I made it. You were literally down to 14 players for that last 12 minutes. I mean, to only lose by 8 points. I mean, it's a great effort and shows the spirit of the side. Yeah,
it is. Yeah, Bentley went off with a slight concussion. So then Wilco's got cramp that he couldn't shake that off. Mendika were down. He's got like ankle injury. Leon had a slight groin strain, so we took him off for precaution. So like last 12 minutes there, we didn't have no one else. So then boys finished that.
How late did you leave it before calling a decision on Oscar Thomas and Colton Roach?
Yeah, we left as late as we could this morning. There was no point risking them today. Obviously, we've got more important things next week. So that was a call we made this morning as late as we could.
Scott Moore come late on. Was that with a view to potentially one item next week?
Yeah, we just thought we'd obviously. Lumley hadn't played some minutes neither, so we needed to play him because we're going to need him. Veal hadn't played, obviously he was out of position, but we had to get some minutes in, so that was a decision to sit Scott on bench there as well.
Next 3 games are pretty much all grand finals. Dewsbury, Oldham, Sheffield, bang, bang, bang. Win all 3, you're on 0 points going into the Good Friday game here against Halifax.
Yep, obviously that's his goal, but his main goal will be next week. So I keep saying to you, we've got to just keep ticking them off, one by one. So we'll focus on Dewsbury next week.
And it's going to be a busy week for the medical department.
Oh, they'll be busy, but that's what they pay for. So to toughen up some of them, don't. It's a tough game.
I know Oscar Thomas was limping at the end of last week's game. What's the extent of his injury? And
Colton Roach had a slight knee problem, like ligament, I think. So he needed to be rested. I think Oscar stubbed his toe, he's bent his toe, can't get his boots on, and so he's walking around in flip-flops.
Any other season, Leigh, you would have enjoyed a cup run, wouldn't you?
Yeah, obviously, yeah, but we're not. For what's happened, we're not in that position, are we? We all know that, don't we? So it is what it is.